Welcome back to the Wave News. I'm Burnham Up Mish.
YB Slim.
Hey man, it's your friend again, Don Ken again.
Yes, sir. And we back right now to bring you back a couple stories. And the first story that we gonna go into today is called hashtag He Didn't Know. And this is a new viral trend that's been going around the internet. So we about to go ahead and check out a couple videos of this He Didn't Know movement so we could go ahead and get a look on it.
Uh-oh.
So recently I posted a video saying, oh my God, this guy didn't know I was trans. And I got thousands of hate comments and death comments. Wow.
I would do a part 2 video of me telling him I'm transgender. He didn't know I was transgender, but he looked good though. He didn't know I was transgender. Should I tell him?
Okay, so I just have to give y'all that spin real quick. Is it recording? Oh, okay. So today's YouTube video is going to be about the time he didn't know I was transgender. And if you follow me on Instagram, I told this story time before on live, but everybody seemed to find it so interesting and told me to do a YouTube video about it. So I'm like, okay, so now I look all cute, dolled up. I'm like, let me just do a YouTube video. I'm in Chicago, and it's dangerous out here. Like, I would never pull the type of stuff that I pulled in Miami and Chicago. So he started unzipping it. Mind you, I don't have a sex change. Still have a part down there. So I'm thinking he's about to touch down there. He's like getting closer, so I grab this and I'm like, you can't touch down there, like I'm on my period. I don't want to have sex with you.
Alright, so as you can see from them clips right there, that is your He Didn't Know movement. Man, what y'all got to say about that, YV and Shem?
Yeah, that's right there. Wow. I mean, but ain't no way they don't know, because you just the way they explained it inside the story and the way that the so-called trans explained the story, it's like, bro, you had to figure it out at some point. It's like either you just didn't care or you just didn't care.
You're too caught up in that
Like,
lust.
that right there is just sick. That's a mental disease.
That's a fact. What you think about that, Shem?
Yeah, definitely. You can tell that that's somebody with a double mind, because you're making some very unstable decisions if you're just looking at someone, looking at hair, looking at the makeup, looking at the body, and you just going strictly being enticed like that.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know how you can say that you don't know, just on the simple fact, the way that the person is explaining the story, and just on just key features, just like what Shen was saying, key features. Yeah, I don't know how you don't know. It's probably something that you just getting past that mental block just to say, like, yeah, this a man. Cause it's like, even when they was explaining the story, the one we just seen said that he even felt the trans woman up and down, and he was like, come on now, bro, you don't feel those features.
That has been given over to your delusion. Because you got these trans people talking about, a lot of them say they haven't had the procedure done and all this, and then people are feeling all over their body. So if somebody feeling all over your damn body, how you don't feel that? Now you don't want to know. You want to be a lusty, dusty, abnormal being and participate in it. And you gotta get out of here with it.
That's a fact.
You gotta miss me with that.
You gotta miss us with that right there.
That's a weak excuse that don't fly.
See, when you, like we talked about earlier, when you basing what you're attracted to based on things that all starts off with the word fake. Fake hair, fake nails, fake lashes, fake bodies. That opens up the door and leaves room for anybody to come in and be able to pretend. That's not just for women, for women's use, as you can see from these videos, because everyone you just seen in those videos were born men. But they were able, some were even able to pull off a look close enough to a woman, as we seen in other videos.
Now, at first glance, I know this might hurt a lot of feelings, But for my sisters out there, that look like one of y'all.
Oh my goodness.
Let's be real. That look like a average sister out here today. So either y'all doing something wrong or he doing something strong.
And that's based off of all the fake things that they use to try to fit in with a regular woman, because a regular woman also wears these fake hair, fake nails, and fake lashes, and have fake bodies. So they have a chance to blend right in with you. But if you were being yourself, they would never be able to blend in with you.
And that's a fact. You, like you said, once you don't let them creep in, and then people just want to run and just give them what they want because they want that attention. So they don't mind the men that saying, the men that don't want to know, they don't mind pretending either. They'll pretend, you know what I'm saying, that they even with the woman just so they can get off.
That's what I do, bro.
That's
you
what
know
you
me.
do.
You know what I do. That's what I do. It's
But
well
you
documented.
liking trannies? Do you consider yourself a gay man?
I mean, I've answered that question way back when I got arrested in 2011 and 2013.
We got new people.
Yeah, I know we got new people. I consider myself trisexual. I'll try anything.
Okay. Hey, I respect it.
Well, what is the thing with transsexuals, like, because it's a man, so it's like.
Let me correct you.
Right.
It wasn't a dude. It was a transsexual woman.
Okay, it's a
'Cause
transsexual.
I don't want them to get at you.
Don't get at me.
It was a transsexual woman. It was not a man.
Okay, I don't understand all that.
I'm telling you.
That's what I'm saying.
You want to learn from the master? What you want to do?
Do what they want to do.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
And it's really sickening. And
very sickening.
And we would like to give the advice that you should stay away from that, because even dealing like that will have people in dangerous situations. So let's just stay away from them things.
Definitely recommend that.
And even as Mashiach said, due to the elect these days will be shortened. And also a passage that we seen in Isaiah, it's Isaiah 1:9, where it mentions that if Yahuwah then save himself a remnant out of us, all of Israel will be as Sodom and Gomorrah. And we know that acts like these took place in Sodom. As you can see, when those two messengers showed up to Lot, men were trying to bang the door down to try to get to know these men.
And just even mentioning that, you can just imagine what was at Lot's door, trying to inquire about the two men that was actually behind the door.
Exactly.
They was willing to bust the door down to get past Lot. Lot was offering his wives, and they still said no.
Yep.
We want them.
They denied them. Exactly.
They said we don't want them women. And it's the same thing men are saying today. We don't want any women.
Bro, you do what?
That's a fact. Like we just
You
seen in
see,
that video.
nothing new under the sun.
Exactly. Nothing new. Just like we seen that video, he said he wanted to give his man some soup to heal his man, so his man can feel better. We about to go ahead. Exactly, okay. We about to go ahead and run into some of these quick commercial breaks. We'll be right back with the Wave News.
We know for sure that you're in control. Alright? Another one that you do if you're standing up outside the bed.
I got this tour to prove. I go where y'all tell me to move. I used to fall for the stumble blocks. You can learn much from a bruise. The world I so gladly refuse. I only depend on your hook. That is the faith of a mighty one. I told a mountain to move. I told a mountain to move. I told a mountain to move. That is the faith of a mighty one. I told a mountain to move. I told a mountain to move. I told a mountain to move. That is the faith of a mighty.
Welcome back to the Wave News. And in recent reports around worldwide, it's been a major recall on shrimp. And you got places like the Juicy Crawfish, Walmart, Kroger, all these places still serving shrimp and things of its likeness. Here today on the Wave, we like to bring you the Forever Fitness tip of the day and want to let you know, give you insight on why eating shrimp and things of its likeness can be harmful to your life.
I got this tour to prove. I go where y'all tell me to move.
We eat so many shrimp. I got iodine poisoning. I got iodine poisoning. I got iodine poisoning.
This is your forever fitness tip, where our mindset is always being fit for the kingdom, and you know we are powered by Yahuwah. Now they have a recall that's going on right now with shrimp and other what people call seafoods alike, but mainly the shrimp is the focus that's getting this recall because of salmonella. So salmonella, you can get food poisoning.
I got iodine poisoning.
We know that these things creep on the grounds of the waters, and they also don't have fins and scales. Now, so that makes it unclean to partake in. So you definitely don't want to put it in your body. And with this recall that's going on with the salmonella, it is very clear that this is not a healthy food choice, regardless of what any dietitian is telling you, saying that it is high in protein and that you can have it every once in a while with a salad or whatever. No, you should not have it at all. It is not supposed to be put in your body. If what the dietitians were saying is true, that this thing was high in protein, then none of these sicknesses would cleave to you. That would actually be listening to man's voice over Yahuwah's voice, and he's telling you that all of these names and diseases would be added on to you if you broke these laws. See, that's actually a curse. So we want to be blessed and be in a healthy state. So we should not participate in any unclean thing. And the shrimp are definitely unclean. It's just being exposed right now with the salmonella, which is not even written in the book of law.
Welcome back to the Wave News. I'm Burnham Up Mish.
YB Slim.
And we got on the line right now Don Kennigan.
Hey, what's going on, man? Shalom, brother.
Brother. What's going on, my brother?
Man, feeling grand.
Off of our previous segment where we went into how this is still at Sodom and Gomorrah, based off that trending challenge that's called He Didn't Know, we came across another challenge that's along those same lines. But we will ask once before we go into this video, we're going to ask you, would you do this for $1 billion?
Would you do this for $1 billion? Let me know. I'm trying to figure it out.
Hey, babe. Would you be gay for an hour for $1 billion?
Yeah.
Don't ask me no.
For an hour.
You ready to go?
Best friend.
Is you ready to go?
Billion?
Yeah.
I
have a question.
Man,
would you be gay for
let's
an
go
hour
get
for
this
$1
money.
billion? Let's go.
The fuck?
Would you be gay for an hour for $1 billion?
Bitch, you better come outside at night. They got that money. Come on, be outside.
And we back after seeing that video, and I just want you to remember this question one more time. Would you do this for $1 billion? Shem and YV, remember we got Shem on the phone. If y'all could tell us just how y'all feel about this thing too, right here, man.
Yeah, Aki. See, these brothers, man, they know they all the way out of here for that, man. Because see, they acting out what they want to do in their imagination. You know what I'm saying? They actually aren't getting any dollars for what they just did. You know, they just getting the views. But that's definitely not something that you want to do. That's an abominable move right there. You definitely don't want to do that.
Fast,
Definitely, especially with the elder brothers. That is the terrible example you setting for the younger brothers who watching stuff like that. Saying like this with just a line back off what Shan was saying. You're not getting no money for doing that. You're just doing it for the views. You got to understand. You emasculating yourself as a man just for a couple views and some laughs. Like that's all the way out the way.
To emasculate yourself, period, because that's not what we were made to be. We were meant to be masculine and be men. So, like as we spoke on in previous episodes of the Wave News, when we spoke on in the fatherhood and how a man putting on a dress is already a bad example, even to his house. So if your wife see you do that and your children see you do that, it's like this is the example you're setting for them as a man.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I'm definitely like it's a misrepresentation. It's no monetary gain, and even with getting that monetary gain, like the few of thousands, if you're able to spend this thing, like what is that actually worth? You know what I'm saying? To not be a proper representation for your family, and then not like I said, you emasculating yourself. That's not fit for the kingdom. Like it is for a man. And see, and as men, we shouldn't do those things.
That's a big fact, Aki.
So don't fall to these man's traditions, whether old or new, because it's really nothing. It's nothing new under the sun. It just seems new to us. See, this is why we make this comparison to the time of Sodom and Gomorrah, because we've seen acts like this being performed before. It is not just something that just came out of the blue. And all in all, just like Shim and YV had made their statements earlier saying that this is just for monetary gain. So a man feels like having that monetary gain put them on top of the world. So having $1 million will make a man feel like he's on top of the world. But what does it matter if you gained all that to lose your soul in the end? So remember that before just doing these little things just for a couple views or even some dollars.
That's a fact, Aki. Just like you saying, men looking to gain status in this world right now, when we know that the meek, those who can be humble to these words and follow these ways, will actually inherit the entire earth. You actually want to be here and do the things that's gonna have you in place for that, versus like you said, just trying to get some views or get a couple dollars or get some laughs and crash yourself out as well as your family. Because that, like you being the head or supposed to be the head of the household, your move can crash you all the way out. So we definitely don't want any of our brothers and sisters to do that.
Exactly, Aki. We want everybody to be able to repent and make it back. That's facts.
Esteem to Yahuwah, man. Welcome to Facts Over Feelings. That's his facts over your feelings and minds.
Go against the law, disrespect the chief of no. Now around the 44, there Yahuwah thine, there Yahuwah thine, there Yahuwah thine, there Yahuwah thine.
Welcome back to the Wave News. I'm Burnham Up Mish.
YB Salam.
I'm still on the line. It's your friend again, your brother Don Kennigan. And what we got here, Aki, this particular story, a lot of people probably been seeing it on their timeline and whatnot. It's a Taliban takeover. You know, it's been a swift changing in ruling and government over in Afghanistan. And we're seeing this thing kind of take place in a manner that no one expected, because they were putting out information on different media outlets from the government in America, saying that they did not expect the Taliban to take over based on the money that they had invested in, the time and the troops and stuff that they put out there. So what we're seeing right now is something that happened that most people couldn't imagine or did not want to see actually taking place, and that's a swift takeover by the Taliban, which is causing a lot of civil unrest. So what y'all think about that?
From our scriptures, it says that these type of people will always deal by the sword and live by the sword. So when it comes to a situation like this, I'm not too much surprised about it. When you look at who you dealing with, it sounds like a real hostage situation right now. And they look like they gonna get whatever they can get up out this situation. That's like, as the title say, a Taliban takeover. But it is a shift that's happening right now. The beginning of multiple shifts.
Seen a video about the people who was actually fleeing the country. They was attached. They attached themselves. They tried to flee with the landing gear or via landing gear, and you can see as the plane was taking off that you can see like a couple, like 3 or 4 bodies just fall out of the sky, just fall to their death, trying to flee the Taliban. And you can actually see the Taliban on the actual runway as well.
That's right. They got a heavy force on the ground, and people know with this particular takeover that they're gonna be following some what people would say some old ways, and seems like people are very nervous about it, seem very scared. When we see situations like this, see, we aren't surprised because we understand what's going on. But some people may not. They may feel that since the past 20 years, they've been making what people would consider progress. They think that with this particular takeover, it's going to cause a lot of harm to come to their lifestyle. And we can see that in the earth, a lot of things that are accepted and just in the world, or that they're trying to just normalize. It's time is running very short.
That's a fact, Aki. And how everyone in this world, they seem to seek this false sense of peace. That's why when they yell peace, peace, we are not to be deceived by that.
Sun rising, lights rocking, curls swaying, side to side.
Welcome back to the Wave News. I'm Burning Up Mish.
I'm your brother Shem Sean, man. You know we on the line.
We got Shem Sean on the phone.
Shem Sean on the phone.
Recently, in our Wave News segments, we have been mentioning trends. But this trend that we're about to mention isn't from social media, and it isn't from the internet either. But this trend happens to be a you wish moment. A 14-year-old chess player from Mauritania recently withdrawn out of a chess tournament where he found out he had to face an Israeli. So when coming to face this Israeli, he withdrawn from the competition because he said that he does not want to play against a player that's from a fictional country that does not exist. Now, this is a very bold statement, but it's also very true, being that what people recognize today as Israel is not the descendants of Israel, but this is a landmass that they put together and named Israel. But it seems to be a made-up country if you just came around. So how do you feel about this, Shim?
Hey, it's true, it's honest, it's straight to the point. Even though they are in a chess tournament where they're playing a game, the representation for his people was so important to him that he didn't even want to diminish it. He didn't want to bring it down to what he considered to be nothing by facing an opponent that does not truly exist, even though they have created, you know what I'm saying, a state of Israel. You know what I mean? And something that they worked on for a number of years before they could get it established. But in actuality, it's not the actual people. So I actually have to salute him for standing on, you know what I'm saying, his thought. And it's one of those you wish moments. I wish I was there to see it live.
I wish I was there to see it live.
Yeah. So he's saying that what they created, he's saying you can have someone that represent that. It can be an actual person, you know what I'm saying, breathing and all of that. But I'm not going to take the name that he bears as a Mauritanian, which he knows that name it comes from, you know what I'm saying, something that they respect, to playing against something that was just created in his mind a few weeks ago, and by a people who are operating under an identity that does not relate to them.
That's real interesting, huh? It does not relate to them.
It doesn't relate to him, and he refused to recognize it. So, hey, to me, that's a bold statement. And when you're thinking about the actual reality of the matter, they're just playing a chess game. Even though it's a world tournament, he's standing on that he would only play representatives of places that are related to the people.
Exactly, Akeem. And speaking of this being a trend, it's also stated that this has been a long-standing trend by many nations. So it's not just by Mauritanians, it's by many nations. And that's even nations of different faiths that still comes together to say that they refuse to recognize this as a country or this as the true descendants of Israel, to take on that name.
That's right. Like you said, this is not an internet trend. This is some things that have been going on for centuries. You have people from other countries and they know the history of the place that was established just a few years ago, and they don't respect it. It's hard for someone to try to force that on to the world, even though it's something that they may have had help establishing. You have people out there that's not going.
Facts, Aki. See, just like others don't respect it, we don't respect it, and neither does our chief.
That's
and as he said in Revelations 2:9, he said, "I know your works and tribulations and poverty, but you are rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan."
That's a fact, Aki.
As we said, that they're just trying to relate themselves under someone else's identity.
That's right. He said that see, we actually put that precious name down, and now when we're waking up over seeing that it's being trotted over, it shouldn't be a surprise to us, because we laid that down right there. And Mashiach already told us that Israel would be trotted down by the Gentiles. That name, exactly. And that's what they basically been doing, is just running it just through the mud. But I'm thankful that the light is getting turned on to it, and that you got people out here that are actually standing bold against it, and hopefully they're not just doing it for a game, but just because of what that place actually represents. It's a misrepresentation.
Exactly, a misrepresentation. If it's supposed to be blue, that'll be known as bluish. So when it comes to the Jews, they're known as Jewish.
That's a fact.